like day, oh, I don't know, 2.1, 2.2 or something like that. Maybe day 3 if you count our base camping. Anyway, I slept good. Slept warmer than last night. It was 31 degrees when I woke up. And I'm pretty sure that my feet were so cold the night before because I was down in it shifted down in my hammock, so my underquilt, it's a 3/4 length, so it doesn't cover your whole body, was up farther. I knew that, and I was just too tired to get out and mess around and elevate my feet on my hammock, so my feet were more exposed. So today, or last night, I made sure it was right, that my feet were warm. So, because the other night, every other part of my body was warm except for my feet. So, Dakota had a little bit of a malfunction. His underquilt, the elevators of the suspension weren't clipped, so his kind of hung down a little bit. So he was cold, but we corrected that. So the next time he uses it, he should be good to go. Just the little things, man, if you don't notice, like can make a big difference. Me slid down like 4 or 5 inches, and his thing's just not clipped. Because you couldn't really tell, because they pulled tight, and it was like weird. But anyway, it's breakfast time. I really need some coffee. I have a splitting headache this morning, and I think it's because of the cold air breathing in at night. That happens to me sometimes. So to the end of the trail is 25 miles. When I looked at the paper map, this loop is like 30 miles, and the east loop is like 20 something miles. So total it's 52. But if you do them together, you don't do the cross connector. So all of them together is really 47 miles. So we're gonna eat, have some coffee, and then get down the trail. So later in the day, we're gonna see if we're gonna push the 20 something miles, because this is a difficult trail to do like 25 miles. It really, other trails, it'd be no question, you know, but and for this trail, it's gonna be questionable. So we'll see. If not, we'll just camp like we originally planned and stay out another night. No big deal. Breakfast, as usual, is this one is the legendary, it's like a cinnamon bun kind of facsimile. Protein bar and some trail mix. I don't know if I'm gonna eat another snack or something, add something else to it, but, and of course my coffee. I'm waiting for my water to boil, or get hot at least. It didn't get hot last time and the flame went out. I don't know why. I know last trip I said I was going to take my canister stove, and I didn't. The weight savings won out, but now I regret not taking it. But anyway, next trip, which will be the Standing Stone Trail, which is, you know, like a 5-day trip. So I think the canister will do a lot better for me. I really need this coffee, really, really do. You know, this trail, I think I mentioned it yesterday, Dakota and I were talking about it yesterday. Kind of surprised us this time around. It was actually beautiful, and it wasn't miserable. I mean, even with the terrain, I guess a lot of the difficulty is based on perspective, and it's subjective, because we didn't think it was that bad. Don't get me wrong, we went slow. I mean, we were going under 2 miles an hour. We went slow. And, you know, you couldn't go fast. But as far as being like, feeling like we were beat up and couldn't walk like last time, we didn't have that. It was just another difficult trail we did. So, you know, when you get trail legs and you get, you know, being able to hike and stuff, it really becomes a matter of perspective. Now, today is going to be an interesting thing. We're going to see how that goes and see how we like that. But I mean, I'm having a different perspective on this trail. But again, we did it in like beginning of July, mid-July. It was hot, humid, everything was overgrown. And that is the reason why we wanted to do it again. We're like, let's see if we can do it. Actually finish it. And but try to take out some of those factors that made it difficult for us, like the heat, the humidity, the bugs, and being way overgrown. So that's why we're doing it at the end of April. We were hoping it would be warmer, but it's warm during the day, which is fine. We're doing really well. So this might be a Dan-approved trail. Now the only trail that I carried more than 1 liter was the Standing Stone Trail. It is now 9 a.m. We got on trail about maybe 10-15 minutes ago. It is a beautiful day. It's warmer than yesterday, not by much, but like 10 degrees is like night and day compared to yesterday. It was 25 when we left yesterday. Today, Fahrenheit. Today it was 35. So that 10 degrees makes a significant difference. But we got a long way to go today. We're gonna have beautiful weather today. It's supposed to be in the 60s. I think mostly sunny today because there's going to be some clouds because it's supposed to rain late at night tonight and tomorrow. So we got a long way to go. Even if we're going to stay another night on the trail, we're still going to try for like 17 miles or, you know, so that way tomorrow's a shorter out in the rain. So let's get going and see what today brings. It's a little overgrown here. That's that spot that we went through that was very overgrown. It's not quite as bad now because it's not as green, but we can at least see the trail, and that's what we were worried about because of snakes. Lunchtime, it's 12 o'clock, probably about quarter after. We're kind of on the side of a mountain. We just hiked through an area, look, I'm all cut up too, man, I got blood all over me. We just hiked through an area that was very, very overgrown. It was overgrown the last time we came through. I think I videoed that too, but I would have thought by now someone would have come through and cut that, but nope. But the rest of the trail was pretty good. It would be almost impassable. Give it a couple more months, and we could at least see down on the trail. And that was what we were afraid of. Was since we were seeing so many snakes that trip, we couldn't see the trail. At least now we could see the trail. Snakes aren't totally moving around much right now, but we're still worried about it. But I think we're through that. We're going to come down. We're soon going to be at the cross connector that would take you back to the carbon to continue on the east looping around. But it is a beautiful day. There's a nice breeze. It's warm out. Yesterday at this time I was still a little chilled, but it's warm. Not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely beautiful. We're sitting here looking at a nice view. Eating highly processed foods. But so far, I mean, it's been easy today. It's not going to stay that way, but as it stands now, still liking this trail. So we're gonna eat. I'm gonna look at the map because I gotta figure out where we're gonna camp if we do decide to camp tonight. because I didn't really think that through much. I usually don't. I usually figure that out in the afternoon or something. We want to go enough that tomorrow's a short day because it's supposed to rain. So probably another 17 to 20 mile day today. Yesterday we did 19 miles. So today, somewhere around there too. That's the plan. So we're gonna refuel, reload up on snacks for the rest of the day, and move on. All right, look at this view from our lunch spot. Isn't that beautiful? We are now on the east loop. The cross connector was back there where you can get onto the parking lot. So we have to cross here and go up this hill, but it's been a nice hike so far today. Kind of very tame, a little bit level, but I don't think it's gonna be that way. I think now we start going up and down and rocks and everything else. So, but we're gonna take it as it comes, and we will get to wherever we're going. I'll have to start looking to see if we're gonna camp somewhere and see what campsites are available, because I still haven't done that. So maybe another hour or so. And then I'll start pondering that. And then we'll see where we're just gonna hike the whole way out. I mean, right now, I mean, it's already 1 o'clock and we've only gone like 8 miles because we got a late start today. So just don't want to be hiking at night and get into the car at like 10 or 11 and having to drive 2.5 hours home. So in the middle of the night. So we'll see. Almost 2 o'clock and I have absolutely no idea how far we are. I'll check here in a little bit, kind of get our bearings, see where we want to go. But like this area here, if you look, it's very beautiful. It's wide open. Now I'm sure in a couple months all these ferns will be up and you know you won't be able to see back. But it's very beautiful. But then you know we're coming up on these very beautiful areas, and then we end up going through, like right now we're going to be going through, like it's very overgrown, and not just like close to the trail. It's like crossing the trail and you're kind of pushing through, and it can only be worse in the summer. It's like it's never been cut through here, like any kind of maintenance at all. But it makes it tough. My legs are all cut up. Of course I am wearing shorts, but I don't care. But it makes it's a very difficult, makes for a very difficult going through here. It's still beautiful. The heat, we don't have to worry about the heat as much, but it's just it's getting old now. That it's for like maybe, I think we went through maybe a total so far 4 miles that are just totally overgrown, and for long stretches. So I'm hoping that's it, you know. But I will say the blowdown situation has seemed to have been resolved. I mean, there's still some blowdowns because it is, you know, just became spring, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't come out to maintain the trail, but a lot of the blowdowns that we had to go through last time are gone. So that's making it a lot easier, but gonna keep on going. Check out that tree, a giant tree, like growing into that rock. Isn't that, or out over that rock? That is really, really cool. You probably can't tell, but we have to go down that. It is like very steep, and then it goes down again. And then we have to go across, if you can see it, the mountain across, then we're gonna go up that. And that's somewhere over there, I think, is where we're gonna camp. But we've now hit some of the most difficult parts of this trail, and we're feeling it. I mean, we're going up and then steep downs and then way up for miles and down. I mean, we're really getting to it. But again, this time of year makes it just a little bit better. So now we gotta get moving.
farther than mile 34, like almost 34 and a half now. And that's for the trip. That's for the whole trail, according to the official paper map. And that gives us about 12 miles we've done today so far. We are looking at camping if we're gonna camp. There is a campsite at 37-ish, 38-ish, and 39, and I think all of them have water, so we're gonna kind of see where we wanna go. Kind of like if we get to one and it's a good looking site where we can hang, then we'll probably just stay there, but there's still the possibility that we go on, so we'll see kind of how we feel, what time we get there, and what we want to do. But we're only 3 miles out from the first place to camp, but we're in the area now where it's going to get really, really tough on the topo maps. So that's going to slow us down. Here's where we're at, some of that rugged area. We just went through a very overgrown area with blowdowns in the midst of that. And here's an example, blowdown. Next blowdown, 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 blowdown. It will be like this for miles. That's what we were saying. That's one of the reasons why we stopped doing this trail, because it was like, it just sucked. You couldn't do anything. You're always going over or under blowdowns. Yep. And it was worse when it was overgrown because there was weeds and everything you had to climb through. And there were ticks and snakes and stuff. So we're gonna see if this is just an anomaly for this trip, but I don't know. It's gonna be, I have a feeling it's just gonna be this the whole rest of the way again. Because these look old and they look like they're the ones that were here before. So should be a little bit easier to navigate because it's not overgrown though. That is a bonus. So all right, let's tackle this obstacle course. And we are literally on the side of a mountain because we're gonna try to get all the way out of here. So we've done about 16 miles, 15 miles. So we have somewhere between 9 and 10 miles left to go, and it's 6 o'clock at night. So we're charging some stuff to make sure we got some charge. And then we're just gonna go because we still didn't even go as far as we did yesterday, and we're still feeling pretty good. So we're gonna eat dinner here. Once we get down to the bottom, we're going to fill up water, and then it's going to be maybe 8 miles left, 9 miles left, and we're just going to keep going. We'll be doing some night hiking, but you know, ultimately at the end of the day, it'll be 6 miles more than we did yesterday. So whoop-de-doo, and we've done more of these miles anyway. So that's the plan for now. So it's time to eat, refuel, and then move on down, up and down over this mountain. It is 8 o'clock on the dot, and we are climbing up and snaking up these drafts all the way up the mountains, down the mountains, up the mountains, down the mountains, back across. And it's getting dark. We're gonna be in night, I'm getting tired too, but night hiking mode. I didn't look to see where we are. I probably should have done that before I started talking, but I would say we're about at 17 miles for the day. No, we're probably about 18, 19 miles for the day, which means we have about 8-ish, 7 miles left to the end of the trail. So, you know, one of the reasons why we bailed on this trail last time was because of this eastern loop, I'm telling you. The first couple miles of it were very smooth and absolutely beautiful. But then we got to the place where we always refer to as Satan's butt crack. Yep. Because it's in a draft like what we're doing right now, and it's up and down snaking. But it was, the eastern loop is just so overgrown. It's not even the ups and downs that are getting us. It's so overgrown. And then back here, we're snaking in on the wet rocks. It's side hilling, and it was overgrown with thorns. Like the whole way we're walking through thorns. So I can only imagine what it's going to be. And it's like no underbrush. So imagine what it's going to be like in a couple months. Like when we did it in July. And I think that's why we're going to continue on and just finish it and not bail on it this time, because you know, we're taking those couple things out of the equation. But I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a regular one. The west loop I would do again. I don't think I'm ever going to do the east loop again, because it's just blowdown city. So many blowdowns, old ones. But in some of the areas where we had problems last time, they were cut. Yeah, if you're thinking of doing this trail, if you want to do it in early spring before the foliage is up, or do it in late fall after the foliage is dead. Do not do it in the midsummer in the heat and wherever, because it's overgrown like a lot. And the blazes are on the trees at this level. They're not high, they're at this. So when there's the underbrush is up there, you can't see the blazes and it's hard to navigate. That was another one of our problems last time. This time, we don't have that issue. We can see the blazes, so. But, you know, we're just gonna keep on trucking. Don't know how long it's gonna take us because terrain could slow us down, or we get on some flats and go 3 miles an hour, but something tells me that's not gonna happen, so. But we're having fun, like, don't get me wrong. This time around, we're not like, oh, like dying and wanting to get off this trail. We're determined to finish it, and we're having fun. It's an adventure right now. But I gotta get my headlamp on. It's starting to get dark. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but time to keep moving. So as we're hiking up here, Dakota's headlamp burned out, died. So he's gonna charge his. We're gonna use mine for a little bit just to make sure we go. But this is a slow go. This trail in a lot of areas, like the blazes are very few and far between. So when it's night, I do not recommend doing this at night. I mean, especially if you don't have GPS or another person with you, because there were some spots where if without the GPS, we would have not found the trail. I mean, it's not obvious.
I'm back in business.
It's, you know, it's overgrown, so you can't see it, and the blazes are low, so it's just tough. So we're slowing down, but we're making good time. We're having fun. It's just a matter of making it out. We got about 6 miles left. We're almost up on the road where we bailed before. So then after that, it's all new for me. So then that will complete this trail for me. All right, so we fashioned my lantern onto his belt because he doesn't have a headlamp. So that's enough. He can't see in the distance, but it's about a good 5 to 10 feet in front of him. It illuminates the ground so that he can see to hike. So until his headlamp charges. We just passed the road that we bailed the last time. So we now have about 4.7 miles of the trail. It is going on about 10 of 11 o'clock. So it's going to take us a while. We got a really steep up, and then once we're up, there's no more big downs. It's just kind of rolling all the way to the end. But the up is a 2.7 mile climb. So we got that to do. But the trail conditions, these last probably 10 miles were absolutely horrible. I mean, blowdowns. We had to climb through stuff on our stomachs again. And the really bad part is, even though it's not really, you know, bloomed out, the leaves and stuff, the trail is overgrown by thorns, a lot of them. So we're taking our time. We're still having a good time out here. I mean, we're getting beat up. It's fun. It was a lot better than the last time we did this trip. So we're going to keep going because we could have bailed here and we didn't. So we're going to keep going and finish this trail, and then most likely probably not do it again. We just made it back to the parking area. Man, was that grueling. It is, what, 1:30 in the morning?
Yep, 1:30.
It's 1:30 a.m. It took us from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9:30 a.m. to do 25 miles. So a lot slower than what we would normally do, 25 miles, but this trail was very difficult. The east side is far more difficult by far than the west side. The west side just reminded me of the Black Forest Trail. But there's no views on this trail whatsoever, not a single one. We saw a lot of beautiful things this morning, and then the hellscape took over, and it was just up and down over rocks and through blowdowns, and it was just tough. Very, very difficult. This is a very difficult trail, so don't do it if you're a beginner. We did both loops simultaneously to make it, because they're connected. So it was a 47-mile loop. Today was 25 miles. Yesterday was 19, and the day before was like 3. So we are dead tired. I think this was the longest 25 miles I've ever done. This was one of the most difficult trails I've ever done. But I think by doing it this time of year, we did alleviate some of the issues of being overgrown. But it was very overgrown, more so on the east side. By far, the east side was overgrown a lot. So, all right, well, enough of me complaining. We're gonna try to get to a gas station somewhere and get gas station food at least, because everything is closed. Yep. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Woo!